Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2018 Career Mode. Today we are here for the Brazilian Grand Prix at the legendary Interlagos circuit, and we arrive here after a pretty interesting Mexican Grand Prix. And if you guys did miss that last episode, do check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. Reason being is because it's a very critical episode for that championship, and with 2 races to go, this one and one more Abu Dhabi, we are an outsider for the championship. We're at 43 points, I believe, from Vettel, if my maths is correct. And we still have a mathematical chance, but realistically, we need Vettel to either retire or have a bit of a considerably poor race. And realistically, I need to win a race, and I've only won one so far this season, and that was at Austria. So we're really up against it here. But as you can see, we arrive at Interlagos, and no upgrades for anybody except for Ferrari, who brought a minor upgrade there. But other than that, it's been pretty stable, and it looks like you can see people starting to save away points for next season's regulation change. So a lot of point saving going on, and the development race is kind of grinded to a halt here. So it's all about battling now with whatever machinery everybody has left. And straight away we jumped into Friday practice, and it wasn't great, I can't lie. This is the first time I've raced on this game since the new patch came out, which is the 1.13 patch, and I was hoping it would have fixed my issues, but it has not, and we still have severe tyre overheating problems. And a nice little spin there, pirouette just to cap it off in what was a pretty miserable practice session. So what I'm going to do, I can't tell you now in advance, for Abu Dhabi I'm going to turn off the tyre carcass temperature, which is now an option in the game, and we can turn off the tyre carcass temperatures and be a lot more aggressive and hopefully push without having to worry about tyre temperatures. But until then, we do have to contend with the rest of this race weekend. And first of all, we've got to get through Saturday qualifying, which by the way is a wet qualifying to start off. Eventually though, it's going to transition into dry conditions, and to be fair, I don't think we're going to touch the track in the wet conditions. We're going to wait until later on in Q1 to go straight out on the dry tyres and see if we can put in a performance to try and see where the true pace of the car lies. Because after practice, I was kind of a bit of an unknown. I didn't really know where the car really was in terms of overall performance. So it's a bit of an interesting one to see how the car really performs. And I'm actually looking forward to see if maybe practice might have been a bit of a fluke. We might find a bit more pace in qualifying. You never know. But there we are in the garage, suited and booted, and ready for the action here in qualifying. So let's just jump into it here straight away onto a set of the super soft compound tyres, the fastest available compound here this weekend. And this is our first attempt in Q1. Unfortunately, we had to go for a second run because our first run was only good enough for P19. Not too far off, 1.3 of the pace, but ultimately just a long way away from getting salvation. So straight away we go back out on another set of super softs. 20 seconds left on the clock. We go through the first couple of corners through the center S, and I'm up against it here. So this lap has to be good, and the pressure is absolutely on here. And straight away we're up on our previous personal best as we now delve into turn 4. Sector 1 split, not too shabby, a couple of tenths down as we run really nice and wide there on the ragged edge. Put a little bit too wide for my liking as we now go up the hill into the double apex right here through this sort of blind crest, being brave over the top as we then start to go downhill towards the apex of the hairpin, picking up the apex on the left inside, just making sure you get the car nice and slowly filtered through. A little bit of patience is required as we now go into the next right hand hairpin. This one's all about the exiting, to focus on getting an absolutely perfect bit of traction out of there as we go down the hill and look for the break point into the last major break point on the circuit. We go a little bit wide and miss our apex, and that is going to compromise my lap, and that is going to be the end of qualifying. A mistake right at the end there at the corner. Kimi Räikkönen infamously went off. I tried to pull it back using the engine modes, but nothing we could do, and we are out of qualifying in Q1. And to be fair, I can't lie, kind of expected. I saw this coming from a mile away because I've never been particularly fast around Brazil, or at least on Codemasters F1 games, especially on F1 2017 and F1 2018, and that trend is set to continue. Unfortunately, we did miss out by not much, but ultimately enough to knock us out, and we're going to start tomorrow's race from right at the back of the grid. So hopefully we can try and turn it around after disastrous qualifying and try and make up for it in the race. Let's go.
Where there's a will, well, there's a way. And nowhere has that fact been better demonstrated over the years than here at Interlagos. Remember Senna winning while fighting a gearbox that was jammed in 6th? 5 Drivers' Championship deciders in a row between 2005 and 2009. And of course, the passionate Brazilian fans packing the grandstands to capacity every year. And they're not about to stop now. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7 mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The Fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if of course the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Martinez. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
They'll have a sinking feeling as they look up from the cockpit and realise they're in a different postcode to the start line for sure. But the one positive they can hold on to is that the car is quick and they can make their way through the field.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. A fantastic effort from Esteban Ocon yesterday puts him on pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Sergio Perez and Hamilton, Ricciardo, Gasly, Magnussen and Charles Leclerc, Hartley, Hülkenberg, Fernando Alonso and Grosjean, Sirotkin, Stroll, Martinez and Carlos Sainz. Ericsson and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, here we go then on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Interlagos. P17 after getting promoted a few places due to engine penalties and whatnot. And we're going to start from the third from last row of the grid, so not too shabby, but we're still a long way away from where we need to be. Now, in terms of the strategy today, it's very, very interesting. Reason being is because there is rain expected in the last part of the race. So with that being said, I've made my own custom strategy, which is a super onto a medium, and I've put that extra stop at the end there just in case if I need it, but I think it's going to be a one-stopper into the wet conditions. I'm going to start on the super soft because I want to be aggressive in this first stint and have the better tyre. We're going to have the benefit of having a fresh super soft compared to a used one, and hopefully we can make it work in our advantage and then go into the mediums and basically wait until the rain arrives. That's going to be the best strategy in my opinion. We could potentially start in the mediums and try and wait till the rain arrives, but if we get screwed over and it arrives very late, then we're not going to be in a good position. So hopefully this is the best option. I could also maybe run softs instead of mediums depending on how quick the rain arrives. So it's quite a nice strategy that I can modify on the fly if I need to. But all in all, let's just delve into it here for Brazil. It's the penultimate race of the season, and let's just go for it because we've got nothing to lose. And the championship is pretty unattainable at this stage. So we're just going to try and go for it and give it our absolute everything and pray tyre temperatures are not too shabby. Let's just jump into it. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Getting ready for the 5 red lights here at Interlagos. Lights out and away we go. Decent start actually. Getting the revs down perfectly. We cover off the inside into turn 1 and instead we get on the inside of Lance Stroll and the Williams. A little bit of contact, but we are going to get ahead of the Williams driver up into P16. Good stuff. A little bit of rich mix and overtake ERS engaged to try and be competitive on the straights. Sirotkin and Grosjean in front of us going at it. Sirotkin on the outside. I'm going to try and go on the outside of the Williams and we find the grip on the outside line. Great stuff. Up into 15th place. Really, really good overtake there on Sergei Sirotkin. Now going through this double wind right, the AI are going to be slow into this brake zone, so we're going to use it as a chance to get past Roman Grosjean if we can. Get the power on here. Alonso and Hülkenberg in front of us going side by side. Alonso getting the job done around the outside of Nico. We're going to go up the inside of the pair of them into the hairpin. Aggressive overtake. Like I said, I want to be aggressive on lap 1, and that's exactly what we're doing as we get past both of those guys. And we're now on the back of Brendan Hartley here, who's in the Toro Rosso. We've got a really good opening lap for us in this race. I'm kind of hoping tyre temperatures aren't a factor after the patch and we can be a little bit more competitive on this tyre. But a very good lap from P17 to P12. Can't complain, I'll take that any day of the week. Okay, so rain is apparently 15 minutes away, which is very interesting. That's going to mean we might go straight onto the Inters potentially, or option B, we could just strap on another set of super softs. So there's a lot of options on the table here. Let's see how this one pans out. So far though, struggling to get past Hartley because he's getting such good tow and I can't match his straight line speed. However, having said that, DRS enabled. We should have DRS on him. We won't be making the pass on him now, but he might make a pass on Magnussen and put him on the back foot slightly. Will that happen? Let's find out. There he goes to the outside. I'm quite far back, to be honest, to even capitalise, and Magnussen does actually stay in front, so no way through just yet. Hartley and Magnussen are so close. We are right at the back of the Toro Rosso here of Brendan Hartley. We're going to go up the inside into the hairpin. We'll lock up on the right front. A little bit of contact as well as Hartley goes for the squeeze, but we do get past the Kiwi. and we make the move for P11. Up next, Kevin Magnussen, and the points are already on the horizon. Oh, back in there, slipping away from me. Bit of a loss of the rear end. That's going to hurt me a little bit. Hopefully we don't lose Magnussen's DRS if possible. I need that. That's going to be critical. Right, onto the back straight. We've got close to Magnussen, but Hartley is closer, and he's going to have DRS on me. He's going to go down the inside in the Toro Rosso. We're going to go on the outside. A little bit of wheel bang in there, and we have to go onto the grass and give that position back. Unfortunately, Hartley there just we hit side walls of the tyres, and we give up the position, unfortunately. But we're getting engulfed in this battle, which I really don't need at the minute. I need to try and get past these guys, but that Toro Rosso is so fast on the straight, I can't shake it off. Okay, Hulkenberg's coming at me here in the Renault. We're going to have to go and cover the inside a little bit.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Down the inside of Hartley, I wasn't expecting it, but we've made it work. I've had a very poor exit though. I'm going to be on the back foot quite badly. Here comes Hulkenberg. We're going to cover the inside, force him the long way round into turn 4. I'm going to hold the inside line. I'm going to give him the squeeze like Hartley did with me last lap. And this time we've managed to get the move done. Okay, I'm suffering from overheating, as you can see. So, strategy change on the fly. We're going to come in this lap. Might seem a little bit weird, but I think it's a risk worth taking. Rain is about 10 minutes away, so we're going to roll the dice on the soft compound tyre here. Try and run some clean air, hopefully. 2.3 stop. And hopefully we can make it work. That's the plan. So let's get out of the pit lane, get up the speed on this tyre, and also let's try and switch it on early on, because if we do, we can maybe undercut Magnussen, for example, and stay ahead of Hartley and Hulkenberg and all them lot. And there was battling going on up ahead, so we might have a chance here, but we need these laps to be qualifying laps. Right on the back of Sorokin here. That Williams is a absolute rocket ship on the straight. Like, I'm talking ridiculous levels, but through the corners it has no grip whatsoever, and we just sail around the outside of the Williams, and we're no longer in the position for the wooden spoon, at least not for now, as it starts to get substantially more cloudy here at Interlagos. Well, we're in trouble. Apparently now the rain is only 10 to 15 minutes away, so it's actually gone back a little bit. That's not going to help me at all.
Okay, some information on Van Dorn. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Right, well that should be pretty easy for us to pick up his position if Van Dorn has car trouble, but right now I'm more concerned with the bigger picture here. We are in big trouble, because I've been basically tricked by the weather, and that rain is going to take a little bit longer to arrive. The question is, can I make it on these tyres now? Right, here we go. DRS on the struggling Van Dorn. Should be able to pick him off.
You're hitting the energy deployment limit and losing ERS power before the end of the lap. Lower the ERS deployment mode to prevent this.
Cheers, Jeff. I'll keep that in mind. Hulkenberg on the left-hand side. He's leaving the pit lane now. He's in another set of super soft compound tyres. Meanwhile, here we go on Van Dorn, looking to make the move. Right on the outside of turn 4. We find the grip, and we just get it done. Up into 16th place. And crucially, we're ahead of Hulkenberg still. Seems like the patch has done nothing for the tyre temperatures. My front right is cooking big time. Right, here comes Nico Hulkenberg. He's just popped in a fast lap of the Grand Prix. He's now going to the inside line. Into turn 4, we're going to try and switch back underneath. Oof. Losing the rear end though. Hulkenberg putting off a nice little block pass there. And no way back through for me. We're going to have to concede that position, I think. Especially considering the tyre difference, but we are hitting a bit of traffic here, so it's not over just yet. Right, cars in the pit lane. Finally. And we're going to get promoted up into P14. But we definitely don't have the pace. Unfortunately, I'm starting to realise that we are a long way away from where we need to be, unfortunately. Alonso lurking behind me, but no way through. I'm going to drive into the negatives when it comes to the fuel. Reason being is because if we drive in the wet, I tend to save a hell of a lot of fuel in those conditions, so there's no need for me to have excess on board. So we're going to keep on burning this fuel off to make the car nice and light, hopefully also aid the tyre temperatures. Right, more cars in the pit lane. And we did actually manage to get within Hulkenberg's DRS, which is good. That means we can actually stay ahead of Alonso, and we're now up into 12th place. We don't have DRS on this straight though, so we might be a little bit vulnerable from an Alonso attack. We're going to cover off the inside here. Alonso is going to go on the outside as I clock up a personal best first sector. Alonso all the way around the outside, but he backs out of it last minute, and that's going to allow me to stay ahead of him for now. Right then, we're up and close and personal against Marcus Ericsson here. We should pick up a nice bit of DRS. Overtake, DRS deployed. He comes into the pit lane, so it's going to release me with some DRS and hopefully stay ahead of Fernando Alonso, which we should do. And we're now up into 11th place. Oh, there we go. There's the first few droplets of rain. So we've managed to make the strategy work and go pretty far on this soft tyre, and the rain has finally arrived. So we've managed to pull it off. Here comes Alonso again. This time to the inside. Into turn 1. He gets the job done. It's a good move, but I'm still on the back of him here. A little bit of understeer kicking in mid-corner, but we are still close enough. Can I go for the re-overtake? Overtake ERS and Rich Mix engaged. We're going to commit to the inside. Into turn 4, side by side. Oh, it's close. Grip's starting to run out already here, but we do just stay in front of Fernando Alonso. This rain sure is taking its time to arrive. I'm having to keep on staying out on these tyres, which are starting to get very second-hand, and the temperatures are not improving. I still think that there might be one more in it. I was ready to come in that lap, but there's still a bit of pace in the track yet, and I'm not really locking up or anything. So those are the normal signs that, you know, the track's ready for the Inters basically, but it's not quite there yet. Do I risk it for the championship? I do. We're coming in. I saw enough on that lap to suggest it could be ready for Inters. This is a risk. This is a massive risk, but you know what? The championship's on the line. I said I was going to go all out this race, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. So, in for a penny. Let's just see how this one goes. I've got nothing to lose. I wasn't in the points anyway, so here we go at the pit lane. Let's hope the track now starts to get moist. There is heavy rain on the way. Straight away out the pit exit. It feels not great, but hopefully the track will come to me. Right, let's get up to speed. Let's try and switch this tyre on if we can. Initial impressions, not great, but you can see the track's starting to shine a little bit now. It's getting that vibe that it's ready for the wets, but I don't think it's quite there just yet. This has definitely been the wrong call. The AI is still running at a strong pace, and my rear's going like that. I'm doing myself no favours. I can't understand how the AI has so much good pace. I'm now starting to pull away from Ericsson a little bit, and I'm actually starting to catch back up to Stroll here, so I think now the track is in that crossover point. There's a little bit of spray on the screen, and I think it's starting to come to me now, and these intermediates. Having said that, I've already cooked my rears. I've just not done it good this race at all. I've not done my strategy good at all. I really haven't. The track's just not getting wet. I'm really frustrated. There was rain expected for the final part of the race, and it's not getting wet. I see some cars in the pit lane, but is that for Inters, or is that just for another set of dryers? I'm kind of praying it's another set of dryers. That would give me half a chance this race, but if not, we're in trouble. Right, multiple cars in the pit lane, and they've all gone onto the Inters. So it looks like all those cars that we saw a moment ago were also going onto Inters. So therefore, we've lost out massively, and my Inters are now much more worn than the guys around me. So the gamble hasn't paid off.
Daniel's in for his stop.
We will get one more chance later on if it does go to full wets, which I highly doubt, considering how long it took for this rain to arrive. DRS disabled, and there you go. It's fine, the intermediates. Oh my god, look at the temperatures on those. Jesus Christ, man. I don't know what to say anymore. We're just going to have to drive through it. What a disaster of a race. I hate Brazil, I really do. I've never been fast around here, at least in career mode. I am so poor around here, it's unbelievable. It's completely unbelievable. That is pretty much also an example, because people ask me why don't I go aggressive and start on the softest tyre at the start of the race when I got a free choice. That is why I don't start on the softest available compound. It does nothing good for me at all. Here comes Magnussen, he goes to the inside. I'm not going to fight it because I can't really do much about it. I'm just taking the outside on a massive screen freeze. Right, looking at the final race results, Ricciardo wins at Brazil, and he deserved that one. Congrats to him, and I'm very, very happy for him. that he's actually picking up the wins for the team, because I cannot buy a win at the minute. I'm absolutely nowhere near. To be fair, I've only won one race this season at Austria. It's ridiculous, really. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ocon second, Perez third, Raikkonen fourth, Gasly fifth, Sebastian Vettel P6 in the second Ferrari, ahead of both of the Mercedes of Hamilton and Bottas. Hulkenberg and Leclerc ran out the top 10 with Hartley missing out on the points. However, for the Drivers' Championship, that does mean we are now mathematically out of contention and we cannot win the championship. And Vettel has 16 points in his pocket going into Las Marina at Abu Dhabi to try and wrap up the championship versus Sergio Perez. In terms of the constructors, though, thanks to Ricciardo's win, the gap has come down. It's 15 points to cover the top 3, so we've still got a chance of putting that one out the bag. I'm going to try my hardest to see if I can get some decent points together in Abu Dhabi to try and help out Ricciardo. Hopefully he can win the race and we can try and bring up at least the constructors. But all in all, I'm incredibly disappointed. I did not enjoy that race one bit, and I'm extremely ready, and I'm so ready to move on from Red Bull Racing, because I am sick of driving for this car now. I get no enjoyment out of it, and I just want to move on. I really do. So one more race to go and we can call it quits. But until then, let's move into the laptop and let's protect some more upgrades for this team.
Bad luck out there today. What do you think went wrong? Not the best way to end a race. What went wrong? It was more like dodgems than Formula 1 today, wasn't it? Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today? Great, well that's everything.
Right, so it's time to protect some upgrades for the team. So I'm going to do my bit. We're going to go for the chassis this time. We're going to get a couple of those. And that's all I can afford, really, so I've got no more points to spend. You know, after a poor practice session, poor qualifying, poor race, nothing I can really do about it. So, yeah, I'll cover off Red Bull a bit more. I'll do some more protecting after after qualifying in Abu Dhabi, because once the race is finished, I can't do anything. So my last bit I can do will be after qualifying. But yeah, I'm not happy. I really am not. Like, just me talking to you guys, the viewer now, like at this point, I'm just not happy. I'm not even enjoying career mode, because this is such a grind to drive this glitched car. And I'll be honest, if the regulation change doesn't fix this glitch, I might restart my career mode, because I'm just sick of this, to be honest, and it's really annoying me. So nonetheless, hopefully you guys still found this episode enjoyable. If you did, and you can appreciate what I still went through to get this to you guys, then I'd appreciate a like on the video. Also, if you could get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, hopefully of a lot better caliber and better racing than what you saw here today, then do get subscribed for that. Also, do turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. And also, finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Let's see my next one very soon for the finale of Season 3 in Abu Dhabi. Until then, goodbye from me.